Sheriff Paula Dance. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. I hope you are as well.
I am, and I'm so excited to talk with you. I watched a preview tape of 60 Days In, and let's start with you first of being the first African American sheriff in North Carolina. Congratulations on that.
And let me clarify, I am the first African American female sheriff in North Carolina. There are other African American sheriffs, but I am the first female.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for that correction. I'm so glad. So you're holding two titles.
Absolutely. And running a county at the same time. See, that's why they chose a woman to do it.
That's right. You know, we can do it all. Well, I'm so proud for you. I'm so excited for you. But you've
Thank
got a
you.
tough job, according to what I've been watching with the 60 Days In. I mean, tell me about 60 Days In and why you allow the cameras to come into your jail.
Well, 60 days in, I had to really evaluate the pros and the cons in allowing 60 days to come in to our detention center. Um, and obviously, the pros outweighed the cons. There are things that go on in our detention center that we will never know, that the detention officers will never be privy to things that inmates will share among each other. And so we had a few issues inside of the detention center that I wanted to address. Though, I wanted to address those compromises. And so that kind of made the decision in and of itself for me to agree to be a part of the show. At the end of the day, I'm glad I did it. I was apprehensive in the very beginning, but then, as it came to fruition and reality and looking at previewing the shows, I think that it was the right decision. I think it's a big portion of it is transparency. I have nothing to hide. And, oftentimes people think that law enforcement are not as transparent as they should be. I have nothing to hide. It's about transparency. It's about, on the top end of the decision making for me was about programs that I have in the detention center that I think will make a difference, has made a difference, and hopefully would be considered by other centers around the country as it relates to recidivism, as it relates to mental health and the co-occurring substance use abuse.
I know this is season 8 of A&E's groundbreaking series, but now that you're doing it in this season, what do you hope for the viewer to learn?
Well, a big portion of that is a lot of the people who are incarcerated in the detention center has a story, and that story has led them to where they are today. And I think people really need to listen because everybody is not born on third base. Everyone hasn't had been in the same situation growing up as everybody else. Now, don't get it twisted. I certainly am going to continue to hold people accountable when they do wrong or when they commit crimes. But at the same time, are we looking at why they are committing these crimes? And if so, what are we doing to address it? What part are we playing?
I like um, I like just that they show a different side of life. Most of us have not traveled there. Then to see you there as a part of this, one of the things I heard the inmates say, I think when they said the sheriff was coming or something like that, you know, they want you to hear their story because you're a black woman like they are and have some empathy for you. How do you balance that?
Well, it's a hard balance because I'm in a county that is the 14th largest county in the state, and my responsibilities are way more than the detention center. Although the detention center is the biggest liability that any sheriff will have, any sheriff in any county, it's the biggest liability. And but what people must recognize, I have to balance it with the patrol division, with the drug division, with the civil division, with the courts, with all of these things that I'm statutorily required to enforce and take action upon our civil division. So yes, it's a lot of pans in the fire, and I have to make sure that I'm balancing it. I have a great staff that I put trust into their experience and their knowledge, and just as in the detention center, I have a absolutely awesome, very well experienced chief who takes care of those day-to-day operations for me. And so, I don't think that the inmates or most of the community understand the amount of responsibility, the amount of statutory responsibility that the sheriff has. But I do the best that I can, and I try to make sure that I'm addressing each and every portion of my agency.
That's a great explanation. I'm so glad that you said that you had all those duties, because I had a very myopic view that you dealt with the jail and nothing else, in a sense. Now, before I let you go, I'd like to know, how do you balance this job as the first African American female with your personal life?
I don't. What personal life? No. So, fortunately, my children are adults. I do have a few grandchildren, and but they're all spread out across the country themselves, and so I have the ability to do a lot of focusing on being sheriff. What's important about that right now at this time in this space is that I'm the only African American female sheriff, and there are a lot of females, whether they be African American or no matter what race, that are looking at me, that are looking at the first Black sheriff that's a female in a leadership role, and it's important that my leadership be a survival guide for them as they now know that they too can become leaders and the top leader of their respective agencies in this profession.
Sheriff Paula Dance, when do you want us to watch season 8 on A&E? When does it start?
Last night was the 2-hour preview that set up who we are, who I am, and what our jail looked like. I think it talked some about the participants who will be coming in. It focused a little bit on a few of the inmates. Thursday night, June 15th, will be the first episode of Life in the Pitt County Detention Center.
All right, we'll be there because we like you.
Thank you.
No, thank you for what you do and how you're doing. Just proud. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Streaming TV, podcast, and in print publications. I interviewed the world's most fascinating authors, all because I love a good book. This summer, I partnered with WPS for BB's Summer Book Giveaway. We're giving away New York Times bestsellers and award-winning books. Books that inspire me, and I'm sure they'll inspire you. To be eligible to win a copy of Jesus Can Give You a New Life, answer this question: what is God's greatest gift to mankind? You'll find the answer in John 3:16 of the Bible. Send your response to the email at the bottom of the screen. I'm Valder Beebe, and I'll see you for the next BB Summer Book Giveaway.